To start off, the Vikings 28-6 over the Giants. And you know what? I was so tired this weekend just listening to Giants fans. We live in New Jersey here. We have a lot of friends who are Giants fans. A lot of people we know talking trash all weekend. Vikings were a 1.5 point favorite, and it was just, Sam Darnold's horrible. This Giants front seven is going to destroy you. You have no idea what's coming. Daniel Jones is better. We have Malik Neighbors now. All this noise all weekend long. And what do? We just take. We know we can't dish it out right now. We're not expected to be very good. But then what happens? Sunday shows up and Sam Darnold. I mean, that's the best. That's one of the best games of Sam Darnold's life right there. In the 28-6 win, Sam was just from the start played exceptional. Outside the interception where his arm got crushed, he finished 19 for 24, 208 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the interception. Sacked only one time. It's extremely scary, ferocious Giants front line. One sack for a 7-yard loss. Aaron Jones was great. People were worried about him being washed up. Ziggy, 14 carries for 94 yards and a touchdown. Justin Jefferson, 59 yards, a touchdown himself. The only negative is that Jordan Addison walked away, re-injuring that ankle that he had hurt earlier in training camp. And the defense, Ziggy. I know it's Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones was 22 for 42, 186 yards and 2 interceptions, but I mean, the defense was great, phenomenal all day, getting after him, interceptions. Like I was really pleased, despite the opponent. We know the Giants are going to be horrible. I was really pleased. I don't think you could be happier as a Viking fan than what you got today.
I mean, of course, Sam Darnold walks into MetLife, his home turf, and just lights it up. We've seen that a whole bunch of times before. This might actually have been one of his best times at MetLife in his career.
It probably was. It was probably the best.
But yeah, it's just, as you said, it's exciting to see this Vikings team come out and all of the new guys that the Vikings were hoping would come in and be big contributors were, right? Sam Darnold comes in, Aaron Jones comes in, huge engines of our offense, right? And again, the Giants defense, that front seven, even though it seems Giants fans might have talked them up a little bit too much, those are good players. The fact that we were able to execute against that defense does mean something. Andrew Van Ginkel, right? In case there was any chance of the Giants closing that gap, which was unlikely, just brings it home in a pick six. Dallas Turner, important sack, looked great on the field. Like there were just all of the new additions contributed just like we were hoping. And, as they were talking about it, if you were watching Red Zone, they said, look, every single game is within one score except for two. The Saints-Panthers blowout and the Vikings-Giants blowout. Right? You would have thought, Cincinnati, they can handle the Patriots easily. They can't. So winning an NFL game against an opponent on the road with a new quarterback, new guys on defense, that's great news.
No, this is for Vikings fans just to come out and absolutely dominate the way they did. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves because we personally expected to win this game. Most Vikings fans expected to win this game. It's the next six, the 49ers, Texans, Packers, although Love will probably be out for that. The Jets, the Lions, the Rams. Those are the games now where we're going against tougher opponents, tougher quarterbacks. We have to see what happens there. But I was so pleased with the defense. That was my big worry this season. It wasn't actually Sam Darnold. It was the defense coming out. And just remember a couple of years ago, the Giants were horrible. The playoff Giants team was not very good.
It's one of the worst teams to ever make the playoffs.
Yeah, just against us, Daniel Jones looked like Joe Montana. He threw for 300 yards in both those games. I was at the playoff game where I swear to God, people are more open in that playoff game than I've ever seen receivers running open in the field. But it just shows how important it is to have a couple guys you didn't mention who are new additions, Shaq Griffin and Stephon Gilmore. Like the secondary was completely overhauled at cornerback position, along with Byron Murphy Jr., who comes back from last year. I thought they played really well, and it'll be exciting to watch them next week, having to deal with Ayuk and Debo McCaffrey. It's very possible that they just get lit up and torched, and we're sitting here a week from now completely sad. But for 1 week in, I was really happy with how Brian Flores. Clearly Daniel Jones was uncomfortable. He's confused a lot. Brian Flores will get another head coaching opportunity. That's just going to happen. So as Vikings fans, we got to enjoy this right now because we have a great coaching staff. We have unbelievable playmakers, and the defense was flying around. And that's the first time we've seen that really in 4 years. The defense has been horrible for 4 years. So I was thrilled. 1 to 10, Ziggy, where are you at on the Vikings post week one?
How am I feeling about this game, or how do I feel about the rest of their
Going
season?
forward, because this game was awesome. Going forward.
Going forward, if you'd asked me before this game, I would have put him at a 3. Right now, I'd put him at like a 4.5 or a 5.
Yeah, I'd
I
give it a
still
5 or 6.
think, yeah, like, are they going to be real contenders in the NFC? Almost certainly not. And I'm
I
putting them at that
well,
4.5 or a 5 because I don't want to adjust them down a bunch when they lose games we expect them to lose. But it was a competent team with a competent offense and a good defense. And it's just nice to watch some Vikings football that doesn't make you roll your eyes or want to strangle
yeah,
yourself.
and when you say legitimate threat in the NFC, that I'm thinking like the Eagles, the 49ers,
Yeah,
the
they're
Lions,
nowhere near
likely
there.
the
Those are
Lions.
teams that are like eights,
But you
nines,
can you can
tens.
now sat back and watch the Bears and the Vikings today and said, "Oh, Chicago." Like everyone was talking about the Bears being the wild card. I think on in Vegas, the Bears were favored to make the playoffs. They were minus 104 to get in the playoffs. You can't watch those two games today and say, "Oh, the Bears are light years ahead of the Vikings," like some people were going into today.